So was that a New Zealand team that are going to go on and win a quarter-final and go on to the latter stages of this World Cup? We will wait and see. What it was, though, was a pretty slick and impressive All Blacks attack once again. 73-0, they were the winners against Uruguay. I was here in Lyon. I've just worked my way to the back of the stand, so going to be reflecting on the match during this video, looking at the All Blacks performance, asking about that quarter-final. And what about Damian McKenzie? Does he come in and start now? Very impressive performance here, once again wearing the 15 jersey for the All Blacks. So drop a comment down below, make sure you like the video, and also make sure you are subscribed to the channel so that you don't miss anything. Let's get into it. So the questions now will turn towards that quarter-final. We'll wait and see what happens between France and Italy tomorrow for who the All Blacks end up playing, but the questions are going to be, in that quarter-final against Ireland or against South Africa, most likely those two teams, what are they capable of doing? What have we seen over the course of this pool stage to suggest where the All Blacks can go in this competition? That is the big question. None of us know the answer to it just yet, but we can speculate, we can judge what we've seen so far. And I suppose my biggest takeaway from this game and from the Italy game, and I know that they are going to face much, much stronger opposition in that quarter-final, but however, when their attack gets going, it is an attack to be feared. And it is an attack which will cause all of the teams in the world problems, including, I think, the best teams in the world. And when you've got Damian McKenzie, when you've got Will Jordan, Richie Mo'unga, Beauden Barrett, Leicester Fainga'anuku, who was superb here, a hat-trick. When they are moving, they are brilliant, and they have so many weapons and so many options that they will cause teams problems. Even though they might not have such dominant displays, they still have those weapons, they still have the capability to put points on the board, and put points on the board quickly, I think. So those questions will be answered next week. How do they go against an Ireland, against a South Africa? There will be concerns there. They'll go into that, whoever they face, presuming it's one of those teams and Scotland don't do the unthinkable and cause an upset, they'll go in as the underdogs, the All Blacks. But I don't know. As I've said throughout the World Cup, I am not ready to write them off just yet. I think they are capable of winning this tournament. I think they continue to show signs of why, whilst they might not be the front runner in a lot of people's minds, they are still a very, very serious outfit. So you can let me know, what do you make of it? I know it is difficult when you've got a scoreline that almost hits a ton against Italy, a scoreline of a similar nature here against Uruguay. It's very, very hard to judge, but I don't know. I like what I've seen tonight, put it that way. Let's get on to Damian McKenzie, man of the match. What a player. He oozes class, was superb today, is a brilliant option at second receiver because of all the time that he has played at 10. He scored tries, he got try assists, he was distributing, and the little tap back in field for Will Jordan's first try in that first half, near the touchline, tapping it back in. It was the full box of tricks, I felt, from Damian McKenzie. And I suppose it's a nice problem to have for Ian Foster and for the All Blacks. When you've got Richie Mo'unga, you've got Beauden Barrett, and you've got Damian McKenzie, what do you do with those three players? Who's on the bench, and how do you operate? My gut instinct at the moment is I think they'll go Mo'unga and Beauden Barrett at 15, but on the performance tonight, I don't actually think there's a wrong answer here, by the way. So in particular, All Blacks fans, I'm interested to hear from you. What do you make of it? Who would you like to see out of those three players? Who do you want to see starting and where, I suppose? As I say, I don't think there is a wrong answer because I think they're all such good options. Damian McKenzie was brilliant tonight, and if he does start a quarter-final, then you can completely understand why it wouldn't be controversial. I do wonder whether it will be a Beauden Barrett, partly because of the match we might see against an Ireland or against a South Africa. Is he a better fit against those teams in a match where you don't have as much front football, you don't have as much possession in general? Maybe not, but I think maybe that might be the way that the All Blacks go. That's kind of my gut instinct at the moment, and you can let me know in the comments. A few other things for the All Blacks that I just wanted to mention. Front row injuries, see how they go there. We saw Fletcher Newell come on early and also go off towards the end of the game. Been an issue for New Zealand in these pool stages, so hopefully they are all good, fully loaded before that quarter-final. Hopefully they were all just precautions what we saw there, but that's probably something to keep an eye on, although the scrum, the line-out, in fact the set piece generally for New Zealand was very strong and pretty weak from a Uruguayan perspective. And let's just give a mention to Sam Whitelock, 150 appearances. That is just an absolutely bonkers number. In this day and age of modern rugby, to play 150 international games, in particular in a New Zealand side and that All Blacks jersey, which has such pedigree, such quality of player chomping at the bit to try and take that jersey off him. Sensational achievement, brilliant player, got a great ovation when he was substituted in the second half, so a really nice moment for him. 150, how many more is he going to be able to add to it? But a big thumbs up for him. I also just wanted to mention Sam Cane. It's difficult to pick out too many individual players on a night like this where you win 73-0. There's loads of other players that we could talk about, but I just thought Sam Cane had a really good game coming back into the team. I know he's had his injuries and he's been out, but I thought he had a very, very good game indeed. But let's get on to Uruguay. I want to finish the video with them. I know this scoreline is a pretty brutal one, but this has been a good World Cup for them. A victory over Namibia, which in this pool was always going to be the match they targeted as their best opportunity to get a win. They really pushed France. For the first 20 minutes of this game, it took the All Blacks about 20 minutes to get their first try. Well, I know they had some chalked off, but even so, the first one that properly counted. And Uruguay, I thought, were good, as much as the scoreline in the end was so one-sided. In particular, how they tried to retain the ball. Now, they might not have often made too many metres in those phases, particularly towards the start of the game, but their ball retention was something which was very, very good. The problem was their attack was too narrow, that when they turned it over, then the All Blacks had so much space to be able to attack out wide. But let's hope the Uruguayans and teams like them, Portugal, the supposed tier 2 nations, get more of an opportunity heading forward. I mean, that is a can of worms that needs to be worked out with World Rugby and whoever the various parties are, to what is the best option for those teams moving forward. Hopefully, I hope anyway, that they get more game time, because on the display in this World Cup, I think they've been impressive. But those are my general thoughts on the game. Congratulations to the Uruguayans on a good World Cup despite the defeat here. And the big question for New Zealand, what can they do in a quarter-final now? I think they have improved through the pool stages after a tough opening night against the French. What can they now do when they get to a quarter-final? Is this a New Zealand team that are going to win the competition or going to win a quarter-final? Let me know in the comment section, and also like the video, subscribe to the channel, make sure you do those things. Appreciate all the support, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next one.